Alright, want to welcome you back, Mashbaka. Hopefully you're back. We had a power blip, and so lost internet connection there for a moment, and that's what the interruption was. So do want to apologize for that, but that was the situation. We had lost power, but we're back. Okay, once again, I think maybe gradually everyone will get back on, but we're picking up from where we were, here in the book of Zechariah. We're in chapter 8. Again, title of our study is Our Last Great Hope. And let me just say this, things that hopefully want us to see as we continue through this. One thing that Yahuah says in here a couple of times in this text, he promised the regathering of his people. He promised that he would reunite with his people and reunite his people, and that he would save his people, that he would regather his people. That's one of the promises. But then one of the instructions he gives to his people, well, a couple instructions. One of them is do. He tells his people to do. Okay? He also instructs us not to fear. And then, so he tells us to act. He tells us not to be fearful. And he expects for us to speak the truth, and he expects for us to exercise right judgment, good judgment, right? And so he expects for us not to be silent in the face of wrong, or wrongness, injustice, whatever the case might be. And so I believe it's important for us to understand that we have a responsibility as a people. Number one, we're not a people of faith. We're a people of amunah. We're a people of action. So Yahuah, if we're a people of amunah, a people of belief, then we're a people of action. We're expected to do. We're expected to act. Yahuah also shows us in his word that we are a people who we expect to be active in our deliverance. And so when things happen, when you're faced with things where he has given you the means to take action, then you take action. And so I use the example of me at work. Somebody who, has biases, racial biases, and he speaks in ways, and again, I've heard him talk in a lot of different ways. Those, I give two examples, but I know clearly that he has a problem that he might not even fully recognize that he has. He don't see it as a problem anyhow. You don't see his racial bias as a problem. But here it is, I'm in a position where, yes, Yahuah has given me the tools to use to address this issue. And maybe, in addressing it, maybe he'll come to his senses. But if I just sit back and turn the other cheek and do nothing, then we won't get better. You see? I don't advance our deliverance. You see? And so I believe it's important for us as a people to know that when Yahuah give you the resources to act and the opportunity to act, you must act. Not simply sit by idly waiting for deliverance, but we are actors in our deliverance. And when I say actors, I don't mean just playing a fake role. You see, but you're literally a person of action in your deliverance. Now, we got to verse 19, I believe it is, and I'm going to go back to that. Verse 19 of Yahuah chapter 8. We're talking about the regathering, our deliverance, and what our regathering will look like. In verse 19 it says, "Thus says Yahuah of hosts, the fast of the 4th, and the fast of the 5th, and the fast of the 7th." By the way, let me come back to this thought on ceremonies. I talked about the importance of ceremonies and the Torah of ceremonies. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between the various Torahs. You have different Torahs. Some people misunderstand the word Torah. The word Torah simply means instruction. But when people use the word, oftentimes out of misunderstanding, they say the Torah and they think that, oh, there is only one Torah. You know, there's only one Torah. But there isn't only one Torah. There are different Torahs. In other words, what I'm saying is there are different kinds of instructions. Right? You have some Torahs that is the same, some Torahs that have changed. Yahuah has caused change or made changes to some Torahs. Right? Some instructions, some of his instructions. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So, but talking about the Torah of what's the word there I just used? Ceremonies. The Torah of ceremonies. There is the Torah of ceremonies. The Torah of ceremonies, it is linked to specific times and a place. Right? And it is something that has been suspended. When the people are scattered, the Torah of ceremonies is suspended. But one thing is certain according to the scriptures, when we're regathered, the Torah of ceremonies will be reinstated. The Torah of ceremonies will be reinstated when we're regathered. The Torah of ceremonies will be reinstated. And there are things currently that we don't know that we will know. There are things currently that we don't know that we will know, because we are in the process of Yahuah revealing what has been hidden, what have been stripped from us. Yahuah is in the process of restoring. And so we see in Yahuah chapter 8 and verse 19 where he says, "Thus says Yahuah of hosts, the fast of the 4th, the fast of the 5th, the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th months are to be joy and gladness, and pleasant appointed times for the house of Yahudah, and they shall love the truth and the shalom." So in our restoration, we will see the return of the fast of the 4th, the fast of the 5th, and the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th month. And they are to be a joy and gladness and pleasant appointed times for the house of Yahudah, and they shall love the truth and the shalom. Thus said Yahuah of hosts, people shall yet come, inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of the one go to another, saying, "Let us earnestly go and pray before Yahuah and seek Yahuah of hosts. I myself am going." Okay, so talking about the appointed place. They'll go to the appointed place. People from different cities in the land will come and say, "Let's go to the appointed place." Many peoples and strong nations shall come to seek Yahuah of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before Yahuah. Thus said Yahuah Zabaoth. By the way, let me just pause here for a second. Many peoples and strong nations shall come to seek Yahuah of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before Yahuah. Now, as we study the scriptures, what we find is it opens up to, or it raises the question of what timeline, what time frame will this be? Because at this point in time, there's a point in our regathering when other nations will still possess the earth. But the scriptures also let us know that the earth will not always be possessed by all nations. You see, when Yahuah created Aratz, when he created the earth with the intent and for the purpose of perfection, right? But then man contaminated earth.